Welcome to The Funniest Thing.
Yes.
Where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Thank heavens it does.
I'm Darrell.
I'm Ed.
And we're broadcasting live from CHOBO Studios in beautiful
downtown Van Nuys. Not far from the luxurious Victory Boulevard.
Oh yes. Next time in your Los Angeles on vacation, try to avoid this place.
Not CHOBO Studios though.
No.
CHOBO Studios is an oasis in the desert.
That's
literally.
right. Yeah, so you just come straight, get off your plane at LAX and come straight to CHOBO. And
what do we got going on today?
before we start the show, the official start.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wanna
what do
thank
you
our
got?
Patreon
Oh,
subscribers
yes.
for subscribing to support the show. For I don't know the words really subscribing, but if you go to patreon.com/funniest thing, you can contribute to the show monthly for as little as $5 a month. Now that we're standing tall on our own like big boys since Unity Online Radio closed their doors, we want to thank you because we've already had a lot of great contributions coming in. This week, Fred Kluth jumped on with a generous monthly donation. We also heard from Patreon contributor Shannon Cave, who's
Yes.
also...
This is a miraculous turn of events. This was I met Shannon Cave through a third party when I was looking for a professional editor to edit my book that's coming out shortly.
Right.
So she turned out to be the editor. She was incredible, thoughtful, and thorough, and really would give me notes, suggestions. I mean, just like it was like having your best friend edit.
Wow.
And edit your book. So I highly recommend her. But this was the real, surprise. It turned out she enjoyed what she was reading in the book so much that she started listening to our show, because it was no secret that she saw that I had this podcast. And then she surprised us both when she became a regular Patreon contributor as well. And just recently, I had been in conversation with her, and she sent us this. Why don't you read that, Ed?
She said, wow, that's amazing. I'm not sure what you had told her, but the universe works in mysterious ways, doesn't it? Let me know when the book comes out. Can't wait to see it. I feel the same way about crossing paths with you. I can't express how much I've loved binging episodes of your podcast. You and Ed share such great insights, and the shows always brighten my days. Take care, Shannon.
Wow.
So that really brightened our day. So thank you so much for that. Again, if you want to contribute to the show, go to patreon.com/funniest thing.
And you know what? Little things like that brighten our day. You know what they can be summed up as in Old English, Ed?
Let's hear it.
Be ye transformed.
Correct. And that is the title of today's show, Be Ye Transformed with Mitch Busk. Hear ye, hear ye. By giving thanks in advance, you will joyfully experience living from one delightful miracle to the next. Be kind to yourself by using your I am to build you up and not tear yourself down. Doing this, we awaken the creative, generative power of our thoughts and feelings to create our best life. On this episode, Darrell and Ed highlight the fact that the happiness we feel depends only upon allowing our inner wellspring of joy to come forth. And during the second segment, bright and shiny skate pro Mitch Busk transforms us for the better with today's daily word, Awaken.
That's the key. That last little bit of this description, and it leads perfectly into our three breaths. And it's this. Most of the time, I catch myself walking around, and I realize when I'm in an other than joyful state, I could really trace it to, if I'm honest with myself, a withholding attitude.
Right.
Like a protecting myself attitude.
Yes.
And that's when I don't feel joy. But when do we feel the most joy is when, like you referred to in the opening, that, and like you even said, Darrell and Ed highlight the fact. This is the fact
Right.
The happiness we feel depends only upon allowing our inner wellspring of joy to flow freely out of us.
Right.
To open our arms to life.
Yeah, and I think it's a cultural thing in that many of us were taught like that our joy is something that threatens the order, whether we're in school or our family.
Because we're so withheld, we're so hell-bent on protecting ourselves.
And controlling things. And we were in these environments, whether it's family or school or what have you, where if we got too happy, people would kind of get upset, So because I was thinking about it, it's really like being spiritually constipated. Everyone's walking around because they're holding it all in, right? Yeah. But this is like the good kind of stuff that they're holding in all of the good stuff, that needs to come out. And oddly enough, what helped me this week with this is getting into the receiving mode.
Yes.
It's giving and receiving go together, because when we're holding it in, we're not receiving anything new either. We're just clutching on, oftentimes without even realizing we've been doing it so long. We think, no, this is just how I feel. I mean, I know for myself, I'm constantly unraveling, and this is what being transformed by the renewing of your mind really is about. Actually, this morning I thought about the Bible verse, so I looked it up, which says, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." So let me we like to read the Message version of the Bible.
Yes, which we got from
Sister Jennifer.
Sister Jennifer here in Culver City at Daughters of St. Paul.
Yeah, so it was Romans 12, 1 through 2 that says where this idea of "be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind" comes from. And this is like a modern translation of the reading. So here's what I want you to do. With God helping you, take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him. Embracing what God does for you. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God. And remember, God is within you. So we're talking, and that's where this inner well that we're talking about. And we're not just saying that. Jesus said that over and over again. The kingdom of heaven is within you.
All the great leaders, all the great spiritual leaders throughout time said that. Pretty much said the same thing, that it's all within, and our job is to let humanity know how much this God within loves them.
Right, and a lot of times people, like the modern day Pharisees in the hierarchy of churches and things, will led people to believe. I know in my own family upbringing and such, that Jesus' words were not as simple as he sounded. That you needed someone else. Don't worry, we're educated. We'll help you understand it. But really, Jesus really came. The message is meant to be simple, practical, and accessible to everyone.
Yes.
So when he says the kingdom of heaven, when it says the kingdom of heaven is within, that's literal. It means that's where you have to look. So he says you'll be changed from the inside out. Readily recognize what he wants from you and quickly respond to it. Remember, this is a he within you. Unlike the culture around you, always dragging you down to its level of immaturity, God within you brings the best out of you, develops well-formed maturity in you. And that's real maturity, that where we enjoy the simple things in life, we're generous, we naturally think of others, but not in a way where we're not thinking of ourselves in the process, where we're actually blessed by the way, you know what I'm saying? This is not about sacrificing, this is about generously sharing what is naturally within us. So the other day, a lot was going on at work, and all this, my mind was just tired and trying to do too much, and I couldn't sleep, and I was thinking about work, and I just got up and said, you know what, I'm going to get into this receiving mode. It's funny, Abraham Hicks that we listen to talks about this a lot. Our only job is to get into the receiving mode within ourselves. That's why we recommend doing a morning routine, which is reading inspired books. If you need inspired books, go to darrellanded.com. There's a reading list. Do some meditation, which is just simply set a timer, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 15, whatever works for you. And
it doesn't have to be a lot.
Yeah, and you just breathe and relax. And you soften your focus on whatever it is that has been driving the ship, the fear, the angst, whatever that is. You just let go, and then you start to recognize, hey, that's not who I am. That's just what my mind has been conjuring up. And then you affirm some things positively from that high state of, Darrell always shares from his journal. He's probably going to share in a moment some of the things he affirmed this morning. But what happened for me was I realized the transformation for me was I was giving. But when something happens to me when I'm giving, I get tired. Then I start to get stingy. I start to try to do too much. I start to feel resentment. If I'm not also receiving the good that comes from within and then comes from all around me, I burn out and I become resentful. So I just sat there. I received that new idea. What a relief that my real job is first to receive that good from within and then share it generously with I was transformed. So many miracles happened in the next, 24 hours where I just started seeing everything through new eyes. I really was transformed. So it's very paradoxical, right? Like in order to give, I had to get myself first into a receiving mode so that I had something to give.
Well, yeah. So you're ready to give these 3 breaths?
Yes. That's right.
Because this is actually getting yourself into a receiving mode when you realize this truth that we're going to share with you.
It really is putting like the oxygen mask on first, like in the plane or whatever, fill yourself up, do something in the morning.
Yes. No, I was going to say, because all these things today we're talking about is healthy tips to change if you're not feeling well about yourself or situations or you're afraid, changing your direction of your thoughts, and we got some good readings that help click it right over. We're going to get to
the beauty of it is you're not punishing yourself or trying to pretend you're something you're not.
No.
By going to the well on a regular basis, which all spiritual traditions have prayer and meditation as part of them, because you have to make that personal contact with this inner God, with this inner awareness of who you truly are. Otherwise, we become these annoying people that walk around and tell everyone else what to do and use all these platitudes, but it just doesn't feel right. We start, we just start stirring the pot because we know, but if we're not really relaxing into it, that's the kind of spiritual maturity that they're talking about in that Bible reading. That's what really KC and the Sunshine Band were really all about, which is
spreading that message.
Yeah, spreading that message. So, and it's funny because we just watched an interview with KC.
Yeah, we're excited to have him on the show in the future.
Yeah, we can't wait to track him down, have him iron out his jumpsuit and get on board.
Okay, you ready?
Yes. Okay. This is actually a combination of Francis Wilshire from 1935 and KC and the Sunshine Band from what year is that? Like 71 or something?
No, 71. We just saw 71. The video.
Okay. So is that right about?
Yeah, 35.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I know. I think I've been blown away so many times by that.
Okay, you ready?
So let's take a breath to clear our mind. I stand fearless and free because that's the way God likes me.
I stand fearless and free because that's the way God likes me.
I think we should throw in the
Okay.
I stand fearless and free because that's the way God likes me. All right.
We got to kick off these 2 readings because this is it in a nutshell. And then we got 2 very short tools, mental tools that helped my mind snap over all week.
Yes. And actually, I was driving down Victory Boulevard, just a few blocks from here, thinking about the show, getting receptive to what the show is going to be about. On my way over here, this way of living, we're letting ourselves be transformed by the renewing of our mind, by the God within, by life. Then new ideas come. I look up while I'm thinking about what the show is going to be about, and the license plate frame says, "Don't miss heaven for the world." Don't miss heaven for the world. Because this is where it might be so easy to listen and think, I'm going to do this forever. But when the world around you starts to feel so counter to what we're saying right here, like when I'm at work, that's when the, quote, rubber hits the road and such. That's where we have to be like children and go, okay, I'm going to go for the adventure of having faith that good alone is real. Even if the adults around me seem to be judging and go, this isn't going to work, blah, blah, blah. To have the simple kind of powerful, courageous faith, which is not what you used to call it the other day. It's not like being overly boisterous or like, I'm not necessarily.
No, joyful confidence.
It's a joyful.
Not a bravado.
Yeah.
Not a demanding. Just a joyful confidence within. And that's all you need. You don't even need to say anything.
Because it really
will naturally feel that. And then they'll feel safe around you. And things start harmonizing.
Right. It's the kind of boldness that comes, in my case, from being willing to go, I don't know how this is, like sitting in a situation in real time where yesterday I had kids doing all sorts of stuff, threatening gestures, all sorts of stuff. And to actually in that moment pause and say, I don't know what's going on, God, but I'm going to stand here and let love shine through me and see what you have in mind. And then people go, wow, you handled that well. Without them even realizing it was because I admitted I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, that's that great reading.
All right, let's get to it.
I don't want to say it because he says it perfectly.
Okay, let's get to it. We're going to go on a reading roll right here.
Yeah, reading roll.
Okay, so Eric Butterworth in Celebrate Yourself says in a chapter called How to Turn Your Life Around, this is just a good intro. If you're not happy with the things that are repeatedly happening in your life or with the direction in which you seem to be moving, you can turn it around. You stand where you are today, wherever that is, because of your consciousness. And there's only one way you can come to stand anywhere else, by changing your consciousness. If you wish to go up higher, you can do so, and there's no limit to the heights to which you can climb. Should I go into this?
Yeah, because these go so well together. This next one's from Stake Your Claim by Emmett Fox.
Okay, so this is really good. And this, again, came to me this morning.
Yeah.
People often ask, how do you guys do so much research?
I got asked that today.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's like, I guess we're just first I said, because we're applying it all week.
That's right.
And then it turns into like the theme of the week. And then serendipitously, or not, it's because now we're starting to attract the solution, and we've come across readings that seem to correspond perfectly because our mind is in that frequency.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. We're both the doctor and the patient in many ways when you live this way. So we're always looking for the medicine that's going to help us, and that's what becomes the show. We just pass that on to you. Look at this. I got the book cover on upside down. I look like the Three Stooges reading my book. So if we hold, this is called the remedy. This is it right here. The remedy, divine love.
Yes.
If we hold negative thoughts under any pretext, those negative thoughts are being built into our consciousness. Man, it's so tempting sometimes to keep them going.
And I don't want to keep building them in there.
No, but when they have momentum, there's something tempting about jumping on board with them. If we hold thoughts of hatred, criticism, or fear, we are building them into our consciousness, and what we build into our consciousness expresses itself in our lives. These negative things will appear in the body in the form of an ache, a pain, a disease, or they may appear in business as anxiety or failure. Often they show up as the inability to get along with other people. Now, there is one supreme remedy for this.
Let's hear it.
We must fill our hearts with divine love.
Yes.
For divine love casts out all error. This is where transformation happens.
This is
Fill your heart with divine love, and your body will begin to heal. Your business affairs will begin to improve. People will feel more friendly toward you and you to them. And above all, your fears and doubts will melt away. How do you fill your heart with divine love? By realizing that the love of God, divine love, is so great that it has compassion for everyone, that it sees the beauty and truth in every situation. You fill your heart with divine love when you seek to express these qualities in your everyday living. Jesus said, by this shall all men know that you're my disciples, if ye have love for one another.
Yes, the desire to just forget about trying to get my way or protect myself or transform the situation at all to my liking, and just switch to the intention to just bring love into the situation through my thoughts and my words and my actions. If that's just the intention.
Right.
The situation transforms because whenever we bring love or intend to bring love to the situation, it's the best solution because we're bringing God into the situation.
Yes.
And then God does the work.
And
now,
God is truth. God is life.
Well, it's nothing bad. And the other people involved, even if prior to our decision to do this, seemed totally out of alignment with us and scary or uncomfortable. With this intention only, not even with like, as soon as I intend to switch from, I got to bring love into the situation. I can't do anything else. It's overwhelming.
Yes.
That is so powerful. The transformation begins.
Yeah. And the reason I said it was truth is that it actually opens our own eyes and everyone else's to what's really going on. Because if everyone could see through the light of truth, then we wouldn't have all these silly little misunderstandings and things.
But the good news is we can activate it at any time.
Exactly. That is the good news.
Here's the secret. This is from Francis Wilshire, a book called You.
Right.
Here's the secret. The greatest power of attraction is to know God. Love is the activity of God within you. So when your heart is filled with love, you will be irresistibly attractive with a divine attraction, which not only attracts but holds. There is physical, mental, and spiritual attraction, the greatest of all being spiritual attraction. Then you attract by that mystical emotion, which is love, which only the heart can interpret. Its attracting power is instant, complete, and sustained. It's hard to... Okay, ready? There goes... And here's the other portion of it.
Right.
It's hard to realize that the thing that binds you is the thing that frees you.
Yes.
When you free any limiting thoughts or feelings, then their binding power or influence is gone, and you sense a freedom you never knew before. Say to yourself, I stand fearless and free in God's love for me. This affirmation makes you seem to stand right up within yourself and become free and positive.
Yes.
Something then supports you, and you stop supporting the thing you don't want.
You know, I'm glad you said it while you get that next reading. That really, what just lit up in my brain is that when I was younger and more immature, I thought my job was to change the world. And now what these teachings have taught me is my job is to change the way I see the world, to recognize the world's not broken. It does not need changing. It needs more people who actually see that the world is love and that everything is whole and perfect. And when I'm willing to do that, the world will, all these things will vanish on their own. The problems, there's all that stuff. Like that's what, it's so amazing. And it starts with me. That's why we love these quotes like Gandhi, right? The be the change, this type of thing.
Be the change
to live it though
in the world.
And to realize that it's not not a small thing. That's actually just, it's like Buddha, when, you know, I've heard that quote about when people asking Buddha, are you God? And he just says, no, not God. I'm just awake. I'm just awake. And if one of, like, that's so powerful. If any one of us in any moment wakes up, Course in Miracles is all about that. Stop seeing through the illusions of fear, doubt, and worry. It's we're just tapping into the truth of how amazing we already are.
Well, the thing is, when we change for the better or have these little positive thoughts, we're actually contributing to all of mankind. It's a moral obligation. It's not just, I'm going to make myself feel better so I get what I want.
Right.
You'll get what you desire.
Yes.
It may not come exactly like you thought it would, but it will come.
Yes,
but
100%.
More than that, you're actually transforming the whole human race for the better by putting your bit of God into the consciousness. And here's the good thing, like, because some people, including myself, sometimes I go, oh, how much mental effort do I have to take to make this work? It doesn't seem like it's working.
Right.
Here's the good news.
Right.
It's right here in a book called Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. If at times we doubt our ability to use the law, we should again remind ourselves that it is not I, but the Spirit of the Father in me who doeth the work. This will straighten out our thought and place us again on the road of faith and understanding. And I like that. Just remember, like, if you're thinking about the title of the show, well, how am I going to transform my mind? Right. And you just do the affirmation. God is renewing my mind and improving my circumstances. That's it. And it will start. You know, this morning I realized I was going, okay, what makes me feel like rushing, defending myself?
Right.
All those things are. And I realized this morning that control is really a symptom of guilt. And that because we're like, oh, got to keep it all together because I'm guilty and I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
And it's all crap. And that's why Jesus brought the best portion of the spiritual message, which is forgiveness. So this morning I wrote myself a note. It just came out. I wrote, Darrell, you have been forgiven this entire time.
Yes, 100%.
You were innocent from the start. All I wanted, this is like God talking to me.
Yeah.
All I wanted was to see you happy, not confused by other man's ideas of what you were or what you needed to be happy.
Right.
You are happy.
Yes.
You must no longer hold anything against yourself. I do not, and I am all there is. Meaning God doesn't hold anything against me. And he's all, and this loving force is all there is. Just love freely, and I will release you from all judgment. And I'm talking about my judgment of others.
Yes, that's right. Because what I realize is when I think I'm guilty, I think everyone else is guilty too. Can you stop that when it goes off?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have a moment that when I see through the lens of guilt at all, I start to see everyone through the lens of guilt, and I'm either taking it out on myself or somebody else. But I heard it a lot many times. God holds no judgment because God is love. God does not care about these little fear-based rules that we've made up as people that we hold. All God wants to express more love, express more joy. That's the healing. It's just a recognition of our wholeness. It's really letting go of the resistance that we've been doing. We've just been resisting the good the whole.
Yeah, that's to not withhold it. That's the illness beginning. Like health is a yes system and disease is a no system. It's all this guilty little withholding, thinking there's not enough. But once we go,
yeah,
everything changes.
Our mind becomes brand new. That's what being renewed is. When we tap in and we connect through prayer, meditation, inspired reading, letting go, letting God, all these things, our mind becomes new. There's no more scars. There's no more past. There's no more limitations. And then our body responds. Everything responds. Our finances. So that's why it's time to be ye transformed with Mitch Busk. Coming up next, today's guest, bright and shiny skate pro, Mitch Busk, transforms us for the better with today's daily word, Awaken. Thank you for listening to Funniest Thing with Darrell and Ed. All right, everyone, welcome back to today's show, which is called Be Ye Transformed with Mitch Busk. Mitch Busk is an amazing, delightful ray of sunshine.
Yeah, they'll see him in a minute if they're watching on YouTube, but they'll hear him in a minute if they're listening on our podcast.
He has an amazing Instagram page, Road to Pro Skate, where he teaches. I think that's what it's called. We'll talk to him in a minute.
Well, we'll see him in a minute. I just want to know, I just can't wait to hear where he got that great updated Andy Warhol wig he's wearing today.
The Shirley MacLaine.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
We got a great reading here now. Ed and I both subscribe to the Daily Word. It's a great. I've been subscribing since 1986. At first, I was like, "Is this thing for little old ladies?" But the guy who recommended it, I looked up to at the time, and I was willing to read anything.
Yes.
Anything to help me.
Jesus is speaking now. Let's hear it.
And this is actually from the day we're recording, which is Saturday, May 7th, and Ed's really loving the show today. And the word
updated Andy Warhol week.
It is an updated Andy. It's Andy Warhol 2.0, isn't it?
I love it.
Oh, they'll see him on this will make you want to watch this episode on YouTube if you're just a listener on the podcast channel. All right, the word is sparkle, which is perfect for Mitch Busk.
Yes. And
I'm just going to read a portion of it because Ed and I, while we were at our own homes doing our morning routines, when we got to CHOBO Studios, I said, "Did you see that?" He goes, "Yeah, I thought the same thing." So we both knew that this was appropriate for today's show. You ready?
Yes, let's hear it.
In addition to the daily word that Mitch is going to read, here we go. The light of God doesn't just surround me, it glows from within me, a beacon for all to see. And that's what Francis Wilshire was saying right before we came to the close of the first segment that I read from the book You.
Right.
God's love fills my heart to overflowing, and I take every chance I get to let that love flow.
Yeah.
I feel the power of God pulsing through me, inspiring me to reach for the stars. The presence of God in all things illuminates them until they sparkle and gleam with radiant light.
Yes.
Awake and aware of spirit within, I embody it for everyone to see. And then from Ephesians chapter 5, verse 13 and 14, but everything exposed by the light becomes visible, for everything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, sleeper, awake! Rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you.
Wow.
And it really means awaken from the hypnotism of the news of the day or any thought that's unlovely. I'm putting myself into a trance. And Christian Larson had a quote. I shared this with Ed because it blew my mind how accurate the quote is. That fear is a form of public drunkenness. And it really is, because we're just under a temporary spell of hypnosis that we're putting ourselves under with the thoughts we're thinking.
Right.
Wait, I just got to say this.
Go ahead, keep going.
Someone said this brilliantly. A guy went to another person. I don't know who I can attribute it to. I just heard it somewhere within the last 36 years, but it's stuck. A guy was saying, I was asking my friend, I was telling him, I'm always freaking out. I'm always afraid, things are going to do this, things are going to do that, I don't know what to do. And the guy goes, well, you know why you're afraid, don't you? And he goes, no. He goes, because you're thinking scary thoughts.
Wow.
And it's that simple,
That's
but it's hard to believe it. We're not saying it's easy, but it's simple. That's what Dugan used to say. He goes, Darrell, I'm not saying it's easy to switch when you're in that mode of thinking, but just understand the solution is simple.
Yeah.
The solution is not difficult.
Yeah. That's so funny, because I was literally going to say that this actually is, we've made it much more difficult, because the only reason it's not easy is because we don't believe it's going to be easy. We don't believe it's going to be easy. But it actually, I just read this. I think it was Neville Goddard, maybe. Someone just said that, we got to stop telling ourselves that it's hard.
Yes.
We've been told so long that it's hard because people didn't understand. The real basic golden key to the universe is just shift your mind into the flow. Because the night I went to bed, I fell asleep easily after I shifted into, I just got to receive God's ideas right now.
Yes.
Because what that did is like you said, I was closed off. And so I was driving with the e-brake on, and it was getting harder and harder. As soon as I just relaxed and opened up. So the next morning, I think along those same lines, I was inspired to just lay in my son's bed, because he's in college for another week, and it was so comfortable. And I just said, I'm just going to focus on how comfortable this bed is. And that's another thing Abraham Hicks always said, but it finally made sense to me. Because I couldn't focus on fear, doubt, and worry, and focus on how darn comfortable that bed felt in that moment. So I just kept focusing on that. And it's these simple, easy things that our brains are going to tell. The hard part is our brain's going to tell us it's not easy. It's really, it's paradoxical, because I don't want to I'm not trying to discredit
but that's what Mike
said.
That's what he means.
Yeah,
he means exactly what you're saying.
Exactly.
But by knowing that, that's what gives us all the willingness to not buy into it.
Yeah.
It's not easy, because the mind's going, no. But because I know it's simple and this does work, the willingness to keep going in the direction of, no, I'm just going to enjoy the comfort of this bed, and my mind's going to come around, even though it's going, eventually it clicks over.
Yeah, because there's this whole world that's been generated out of that one fearful voice. And that's what it means, don't be overcome by the world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
That's what the license plate frame meant, too.
But if we had never been programmed to believe that there's this fearful, hard world out there, it'd be so easy, because it's the most I personally come up with the most ridiculous stories that keep me stuck.
Oh yeah.
It's a problem is I've been thinking them so long that they don't appear ridiculous anymore.
No, they seem real.
They seem very real. So that's why it's good to have friends like Darrell or Indy or Mitch that you could tell someone else, like, look, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I'm believing this thought.
Yes.
I'm believing the cops are coming after me because I didn't turn in this paperwork at the right time at work. Whatever it is, like your friend said, the reason you're scared is because you're thinking. To admit those scary thoughts brings the light in.
Yeah, and to admit that they're powerless.
Yeah,
that's the key. That they're not based in anything that's true.
That's right. So let's thank our listeners.
Yeah.
We got a great piece of mail. Well, actually, if you want to send us anything, send it to Funniest Thing, P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California 90232.
That's right.
We love getting things in our P.O. Box. If you want to contribute to the show financially for as little as $5 a month, and this is a great way to learn about investing, really circulating money. It feels so good. If you think about it, take $5 and put it out there and put it into something that you love, and there's something that you start to feel so good about.
Well, just this morning, because this is the portion of the month where Ed and I have to pay for the studio, and
Jeff
Comfort, who's doing, as freelancer, he's responsible for the uploading and everything of our show on that end.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I'm excited to be paying these guys today, Indy Fawcett at CHOBO Studios, as well as Jeff. And Ed said the same thing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because we know this law of circulation. As we circulate our love in the form of money,
right,
then we receive more. It goes out and blesses all these people, and I already feel it blessing me as it's blessing them.
Yeah,
and it comes back multiplied.
If you take that attitude, you will be rich.
Yes,
you'll realize you are, because all the people who are truly rich, they're circulating their money to benefit others as well. So do it. Start small.
Yes.
In whatever way works for you, but one of those ways is patreon.com/funniest thing. You can also go to darrellanded.com and hit us up at the contact form.
Yes.
Or go to our Funniest Thing fan page on Facebook. We post things there as well. In our mailbag, we heard from Brandon Weinstock. What a wonderful name. He said, I just heard what I needed to hear on your podcast. Well, thank you, Brandon Weinstock. Christina Robaum from Utah said, you guys, it was such a blessing and surprise to hear you reference me on the show regarding SLC and Cami.
She means Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. Thank you. Oh, that was such a nice sign that I am loved and supported in this world. Things are moving behind the scenes. Were you joking or serious about Darrell moving to Utah? You guys are fantastic. I'm so grateful for you and your show. Have a great day, dear friends.
Well, I get these ideas in my head, and they're not jokes at the time. Sometimes they turn into realities. But who knows where me and my wife will be? You never know. But it has been sounding attractive just because of the types of people we've been meeting from Salt Lake City.
Yes, totally. All right, so let's thank our chief engineer. We just mentioned he's still with us. He's been with us from the beginning. He's over there in what's it called? What's that place called? Independence?
Well, he doesn't live over there.
He lives somewhere in Missouri.
I think he lives in Kansas. I think he lives right across the border.
Okay. Well, he's out there near Unity Village, near where Unity started. Yes. His name's Jeff Comfort, and each week
he takes us
right into the comfort zone. Yeah. Which brings us to the Silent Unity. Shout out to the prayer line, 800-NOW-PRAY. 800-669-7729. It's a great way. If you're having trouble feeling that ye are transformed, call Silent Unity, or they have an app, the letter U, the word pray, type in your prayers, and you're going to be amazed.
And thanking in advance, because that's part of the show too. Having the end in mind. Like every time Jesus prayed, he didn't go, oh God, please, I hope you can give this to us. No, he always thanked God for the desire he desired being already happened.
That's right.
And that's what's great, because I've been using it this week because I had to do a couple of talks during the course of this week where I would call Silent Unity to basically just affirm, thank you for making this talk a success, for me to be able to share God's love and inspiration in a way that makes me feel good and is well received and inspires others. I am telling you, the thanking in advance for whatever it is you want is usually the missing link in a lot of our prayers.
I agree, because it's the recognition that God has, before we even asked,
yes,
God has already answered. We did not come to this earth to struggle.
No.
That's another cultural just misunderstanding. We came here to receive our good, to share it with others, express our good, to be a success, and stop getting in our own way. Like, the main thing we got to do is stop getting in our own way. So giving thanks in advance is just, even if we're just faking, at least we're affirming the truth. We think we're taking this, wow, this is amazing, I'm doing this bold step to affirm it, but we're actually just simply inching our way toward what's already true.
Yes.
So someone who's going to help us inch our way toward the truth, who's amazing, has been on the show before. He's a teacher of the fine art of skateboarding, Road to Pro Skate.
Yeah.
He is a handsome little devil. He has a YouTube channel he could tell us about as well.
Hungry TV.
Beyond all that, he's a light unto the world because he practices this stuff.
And the ladies love him.
Oh, man. Everyone loves him. My wife loves him. His name is Mitchell Busk. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing great. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. Thanks for having me on the show. And thank you, God, for this successful time on it. Right?
Yes. Well, I got to tell you, man, if you don't know this already, you're the type of guy, when you come in the room, you don't have to do anything because you light up the place.
Yes, it's true.
And if you always lean on that, you'll always be a success, because it's the truth. I'm not like, we do say funny things, but we say them because we have a joyous, childlike heart that actually is just expressing what's really true for us. So
yeah, that we love and appreciate you, even though you're younger than you could be either one of our son.
In fact, we love that. We love you.
But we consider you like you're the same age as us,
right?
Because of all the things that we share with each other. And listening to the first half of the show, has anything popped into your head, or something come up, or something you want to share? Just kicking off this segment.
My bad, I don't mean to interrupt, but yeah, for sure. That reptilian way of thinking, we go fight or flight or whatever, and that spiritual constipation, man, that was great to talk about. And yeah, just a lot of things. I'm gonna tell you guys a little something about my spiritual maturity. This has been like a journey of like 4 years. So very short amount of time. I'm 26 years old. I look like I'm 12, but 4 years of those 26, me being in this world and living in the flesh and not really putting energy and time and thoughts into my spiritual maturity. Like, I experienced a lot of like internal resistance. So like, that's why I'm thinking like, it's so intimidating every time I come onto your guys' show, because I love this. This is where I need to be. But that's how I am feeling, like this affirmation of like, yeah, I need to be here. This is something that is growing me, and I love being around you guys. But yeah, that's kind of what came to my mind.
That's awesome. I mean, that's the way our mind is transformed, and I appreciate you saying that, because Darrell and I have similar feelings and thoughts. And
yeah,
when early, like the first big chunk of this show, I don't even know how long it was, there'd be regular periods where I would just be standing there like blessing the part of my brain that was like, why are you even, like, who are you to say this? Does this make any sense? Let's get out of here. Like, and I learned, one of the things I learned from performing rock music for a lot of years and being the lead singer was, if I ignore those thoughts, no one else is thinking them. Like, because after the show, no one heard that one note. Like, I would like lay on my sword, I'm sorry, almost like apologizing for the show afterwards. No one even recognized this thing. I mean, it happened to me at work yesterday. I made a joke about it earlier, where in the middle of my day, I got this email about some paperwork from last year. I didn't have the signature page from some meeting. And literally, like, the really young, scared part of me was like, that's it. The teaching career is over. Pack it up. I mean, and it felt, I was telling Darrell, like, the guy that's
so real. It feels so real in those moments, doesn't it? It's like your whole gut goes, oh.
Yeah, because it really is like slipping into a dream.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
The only thing that helps me is, like, for one, I knew we were doing the show today, so I was like, there is a reality out there where I know better than this because I'm about to go do a show. The other thing, my wife said something recently, which is, this is too bad to be true.
Yes, hang on to that. That's my favorite line for 2022. Anytime we're thinking something negative, this is too bad to be true.
So let me tell you, instead of, because I was like, okay, just stay present, Ed. Just, like, don't run away. Don't believe the hype for just a little while. I sent an email to the person, told them, I even left them a message. I said, I'm not sure what happened. Last year was like the first year we were on Zoom, but I'll be willing to help. All of that. Remember, I'm sincerely telling you, my mind was concerned that I was going to lose my job. And what it turned into was an email like 2 hours later that said, oh, no problem. We'll just send her another sheet and have her sign it now.
I know. Isn't it insanity?
You know, because I stood firm or relaxed in the loving.
Yes.
And I faced the fear, and then I got the proof.
Well,
I felt so high when I got that second email.
That's the thing. But here's the thing, too, that you were doing. You were bringing, in spite of all the insanity, you expressed love towards the person that you were concerned within the situation.
Right.
And that is the key. Because no matter how wigged out I get with somebody or a situation, that's like the golden key to me being able to face it. When I just go, okay, this is so horrible, but I gotta just, I want to be transformed, and I know if my intention is to bring love into this situation and forget all this insanity temporarily,
right.
That's what starts the transformation.
Yes.
Right.
Actually,
you know what?
Yeah, go ahead, Mitch.
So, like, I had this emotional, or like, I just got super sick and tired of like living dictated by my emotions. You know, I'm sure you guys have spoken on this quite a bit before, but it's like, these emotions that I feel oftentimes more than not are like temporary and unrealistic, but I believe they're God-given too, you know? So it's just finding that correct balance. But ultimately, love always wins, you know, at the end of the day. Regardless, these thoughts carry energy. These words carry energy. And I love the affirmations you guys speak. You know, I practice that with the majority of the students that I'm working with, whether it be in a skate lesson or in an educational tutoring session, you know, right. It's beautiful.
Well, you know, let me just say, what you just said is science, because the emotions are God-given, but Darrell always says they're not facts, right? But they're indicators. They're God-given because they're indicating where our thoughts are in that moment.
Or like you said in an article a while back, where are your thoughts taking you in the moment? Yes,
so that's what that was. I'm so glad you pointed that out. I'm so glad. So, say something about that?
No, because that's the thing. These feelings, because we've heard that a lot.
Yes.
You know, that little feelings aren't facts. but the rest of the slogan is feelings aren't facts. They're indicators. Indicators of what? The direction my thoughts are taking me, or I'm allowing them to take me. And we may not have control over our feelings because our feelings always follow thought.
Yes.
But through affirmations, now that we know the truth is all love, we can affirm, wait a minute, all love, how can I bring love? What do I love about this situation? Those thoughts now, because that really is the truth of ourselves, carry way more power. And this is scientific too, because they did studies at one of the brain science institutions where they measured brain waves. And positive thoughts carry over 1,000 times more power in their wavelengths and frequency than negative ones do. But the feelings are God-given because those feelings that feel bad are saying, this is not true, Darrell. Stop it. Please change direction. The crazy part is somewhere along the line, and I don't know if it was from the news or people I grew up with or whatever it was, or maybe teachers, it doesn't even matter. But the lie that I came up with within myself is, if it feels bad, it must be true, and we got to do something about it. Yes, we got to do something about it. We got to change my thinking. But unfortunately, that we got to do something about it, I took it as I got to start controlling. I got to take action.
Yeah.
And coming from that feeling, like Ed and I always try to reinforce with our listeners, is do not act from that place. Like, even if you're writing, whether you're writing a story, a screenplay, an article, or you're about to respond to a bank, do not act from that place.
Yeah.
Get your place calmed, eat something. And when your reason comes, when your sanity comes back, the joy comes back, then you'll be guided, and you'll have the perfect divine thought, or even in most cases, the problem dissolves of its own accord.
Right.
For sure. That's what my mind goes to, is like automatic worst case scenario, bada bing, bada boom, fear. Nah, bro. Like, we can...
You can turn it off.
Go ahead.
No, I was forgetting about the daily, that we didn't read the daily word.
No, we'll get to that, but we're not in as much of a rush.
We're not in much of a rush.
I was just saying, turn off the timer for a moment, because we'll wrap this up in, soon enough. But I just don't want to hear that thing go off. But what I was going to say is, this idea that we can even change our thinking is what revolutionizes everything. Mm-hmm. And it has been, for the people who don't believe it, are so scared that they think, and if you don't have some form of meditation, we become so identified with our thinking. Yes. And even though I do meditate, I'll still defend my thinking. But historically, there's reasons why people met in small rooms to talk about this stuff, because medicine was only recently even accepting this basic foundational fact of life, that we can change our thinking, and when we do, our body and our mind, our emotions respond.
Yes.
Like, that wasn't even on the table. It was it was offensive to many people in many different situations. So
science is catching up to what was long withheld as a spiritual or religious belief.
Right. But it's just, this is why it's such a personal practice. It does, at the end of the day, I got to get to a point where I don't care if anyone else believes this or accepts it or not, and just practices it, because the very people who might rebel against it are the very ones who will also be blessed by it if I just go home and keep about my business and keep practicing it.
Yes, that's the key.
Yeah.
As long as I don't worry about converting anyone.
That's right.
And I just continue to practice for my own sense of joy, and don't be afraid to, and not to withhold my joy in situations, because I don't know how people will take it.
Constipation.
I'll start transforming the world without ever saying a peep. And all I'm really doing is trying to be kind and loving to ourselves.
Yeah, and the people who don't seem like they're going to listen, you never know. I've been having amazing conversations with the principal at my school after hours. We're just sitting there. And all this stuff we're saying, it turns out it's the cutting edge of where education and research is going. Right. But you just have to have the audacity by practicing it to know it works.
Yes.
And don't worry what anyone else says, and keep practicing it, and the opportunities will provide, open up themselves, So
let me say, where so underrated, bro. Like, speaking hope onto situations, you never know, like, that seed of hope, that seed of optimism, that seed of hope. Yeah. When you plant that, what that will turn into. Freaking my church that I go to, Angelus Temple, the Dream Center, is an amazing program where they did like missionaries like 20 years ago. Boom, in Uganda. This dude was inspired in Uganda. He freaking made his own church in Uganda, and has affected positively like this huge community there.
Right.
And that's just based on seed of hope planted. Yes. So we need to have the audacity to continue to really be like out here just hope dealing, like
I like that.
Well, I've been a big time hope dealer. I just never told you that because I thought you'd have me arrested.
Thank God you got me hooked on the product. Mitch, will you read the daily word for us, and we're going to wrap up this show right here.
I got you. Give me one moment.
Mm-hmm.
Grab that from our group chat conversation. Here we go. So Monday. Excuse me. I'm not even going to say the date. Awaken. I awakened to the awesome power of God within and all around me. Not merely awake, I am awakened. I feel vibrantly alive and keenly aware of the presence of God within all things. When I come upon a flower, I remember it was once a seed, and I trust it will bear seeds that carry on on the cycle of life. I pause to marvel at the turning seasons, appreciating the order that underlies all change. As I awaken to the glory of a world teeming with life, I discover God anew. All the marvels I discover around me pale in comparison to the marvels I realize are always within me. I am a divine being, expressing the goodness of wisdom and love of God as only I can. This awareness empowers me as I awaken to the creative, generative power of my thoughts and feelings to create my experience of life. Awake, my soul, awake, O harp and lyre. I will awake the dawn. That's Psalm 57:8.
Yeah,
Yes.
we really do need to awake. Come on, wake up, man. This is going to be great.
Yeah, and let the listeners know when he's talking about lyre, it's not L.
It's a it's like a lyre. It's a little
lyre.
guitar
It's a
type
guitar,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we got something from the TMZ of the skate world.
Yeah, let's say goodbye. Well, hang on, Mitch.
Wait, we're not. Yeah,
We want to let everyone know where to find you on the social medias and YouTube and such.
Yeah, for sure. So, first and foremost, I am an owner of Road to Pro Skate. That's do the @ Road to Pro Skate on Instagram. If you guys want to check out really cool skate content, I work with the kids where we offer a platform of just like positivity. We're trying to destigmatize like skating. Oh, you got to be a burnout and like be so defiant. No, in all reality, it's about inclusivity. It's about just building each other. So that's kind of what my skate camp is based off of. And I also just started my LLC. It's called Beach City Skate and Meditate. So stay tuned for more content on that. And that's going to be kind of solely based upon optimism and more like mindfulness exercises that we do with the kids, with the foundation of doing what we love, skating, surfing, and just cool activities like that. But also Hungry, my skate brand that I run.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, my AirPod went all trippy. Check out our shirt. So you guys are going to want to go onto YouTube right now and check out Ed and Darrell's Funniest Thing and look at my shirt. This is a very cool design. It's Hungry.
Nice.
Who is that? Who
it's
is
Mike
that?
Tyson spitting out someone's ear.
Oh, wow.
If you check that beautiful image out,
that's
it says Hungry.
Yeah, it's very holy.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, because it's Holyfield's ear he's spitting out.
Yo, so Hungry is all about, we just post skate videos. We do what we love. It's creative videos as well, skits, but it's really about feeding into what we love. Hungry, like just feeding your inner passion. So there's that. And yeah, Mitch Busk on Instagram, MITCHBUSK. That's also on YouTube, Mitchell Busk, MITCHELLB as in boy, USK. So my vlog series is called Best Day Ever because every single day that we wake up alive and well, let's make it the freaking best day ever. We're so blessed with like these things that oftentimes go over our head. So it's just kind of I vlog my lifestyle while having this underlying tone of positivity like sprinkled throughout it. So you can see a lot of cool stuff from there. And yeah, that's about it. I just want to say thank you guys and congratulations on the launch of your Patreon. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that for a small price of a cup of coffee a month, come on, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right?
You guys are amazing.
Well, thank you, dude.
I love you guys.
We love you too. Hang on while we wrap this show up.
This is from Skate.
Sure.
What is this from? What magazine is this from?
Fart Camp? No, makes me Skate Camp.
Fart Camp magazine.
Okay.
That's one of the highest regarded skate magazines there is.
All right, Mitch Busk was walking outside of CHOBO Studios.
Uh-oh.
Remember that day?
Yep.
Skateboard in hand, looking a bit down. Darrell and Ed noticed and asked him what was wrong. Mitch said,
"My buddy Matty is mad at me because he said I was spreading rumors that he had COVID, but I didn't do it."
Darrell and Ed asked, "Well, what happened?" Mitch smiled and said,
"I don't know, bro. I saw a couple of his friends down on the beach and they asked me about him."
Darrell and Ed said, "Well, what'd you tell them?" Mitch, still confused, replied,
Well, the dude is an amazing skater. So I said, that dude is so sick.
So
Oh, look who walked in. KC.
Casey.
From KC. And how you guys doing?
Hey, man, we could not be better. You going to sing something for us?
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here, guys. You ready?
We're doing God Likes It? Was that the original lyric?
Yeah, these were the original lyrics.
Okay, here we
It got
go.
me really high back in 1971. Let's do it. You ready?
Yeah. When God takes me by
The hand.
He tells me I'm
his loving man. When God gives me all his love, I do it, babe, the best I can. Ah, that's the way, God likes it. That's the way, God likes it. Visit DarrellandEd.com to find easy links
Mitchell
to
Busk,
everything
we love
we
you.
do.
CHOBO Studios, Jeff Comfort.
That's the way,
God likes it.
That's the way, God likes it.
You.